Morning everybody, welcome back to the simulator, welcome back to the channel, Turbo Talon Golf on YouTube, where you can watch a gorilla swing golf clubs in a fake game of golf essentially. There you have it, there's your intro. It is Friday the 26th of September 2025. I've been warming up this morning. It's early here, it's 7:20 a.m. Warm-up's not going so well. I've probably been playing a bit too much golf, but that just means that I'm going to need to choose something to play this morning that's not 7,000 yards, 8,000 yards, whatever that ends up being. We know it won't be tips. Looks like the Pro Tour's at 6,700 yards. Even the SGT Tour is at 6,700 yards. Looks like the Web Tour's at 6,200 yards, and outside of that, we've got Auto Putt, which is at 6,100 yards. And I thought I had something else here. I don't. Looks like we're playing the Web Tour, and it's still 6,200 yards. So the way I'm swinging this morning, nothing's clicking. It's early and I'm old, and my coffee and breakfast still haven't passed through my digestive system. So let's check out the stats. Looks like we're at Black Rider Open again, which we were also on last night. It's 2 rounds. I got some time to burn until I need to head into Salt Lake City for FanX. Used to be Comic-Con, but I guess they got sued and had to change their name. I don't know. It's always because money's not changing hands, I've noticed. Anyway, I don't want to get all political this morning. 5-foot gimme auto putt. Hey, for golf's sake, how are you? Just out in the sim again, trying to figure out my golf game, but stuff feels real rusty this morning. We got 5-foot gimme auto putt circle, which ain't bad. It ain't good, it ain't bad, but it's pretty generous. You probably would never play that outside with your friends. 6,200 yard tees, Thursday pins. The greens firmness is normal and the fairway firmness is firm. Wind is calm. I don't see anything too out of the ordinary here, but we're going to have to get stuff off the tee if we hope to even be at par here today. So let's load it up. How much longer till you go to bed? It's 7:23 here a.m. Mornings are hard, but I like early tee times. You see? Mornings are hard, but I love early tee times. What do? Find some way to get younger? For golf's sake, saying to hit the 3-wood off the tee, I don't disagree with that. I can't even hit my 7-iron, so I don't know how I expect to hit my driver. You can see this is playing 385 yards, which means if we get a decent tee shot, say your tee shot goes 200 yards, you still got 185 in, which is not an easy shot for most beginner golfers. You're not going to have a whole lot of accuracy. If you go 250, if your drive goes 250, you've got a $135 in, which is a much more manageable shot, and you might be able to score. Which is why you always hear these guys saying make sure you play off the right tee box. If you're hitting a 200-yard drive and you're playing off the wrong tee box, you're not going to have a good round. You're going to feel like you're doing crappy the whole time because you're getting bogeys and double bogeys, when in reality, if you just moved up a tee box or two, you'd probably have a better time. I'm not saying the tee box you should play from is directly tied to your drive, but that is one of the current theories, is how far do you drive? Some people say how far do you hit your 7-iron, and then you do some calculation. I don't know. I just know when I play anything over about 6,000 yards, I can expect to be about 10 to 15 strokes over par. Maybe 8 to 12. This isn't too bad. It's 6,200 yards. Man, if I ever go to Australia, I'm gonna need to make sure to adjust my sleeping schedule for sure. That's gonna be rough. Oh, another thing of note, I did get my laser alignment tool out, the one I use for framing and building stuff in general, and I lined it up and made everything pretty. Readjusted, I recalibrated the launch monitor, and I slightly adjusted my ball offset, which I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but it's about as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, I agree, but if you're playing 7,000 yard tees and you're hitting 225 off the tee, it takes you a whole additional stroke to get to where you're 150 yards in. I do agree that the short game's important, but I can be firing on all cylinders, hitting all my clubs well, and if I'm playing 7,000 yard tees and hitting 250 yard drives, I am consistently gonna do bogey, double bogey golf. That might just be me. I don't think I'm an exception to any rule by any stretch of the imagination, but that is what I've observed. If I play the wrong tees, I don't have a good time at all. Okay, that's the same exact shot we hit on the last round here, but we aren't going to be behind the same tree, thankfully. And the reason, a way you can prove what For Golf's Sake is saying from the 150 in game is go play yourself a par 3 course and see what kind of a score you get. Because you're not going to play driver off of any hole, right? If you're shooting par on a par 3 course, you're probably doing pretty well. You could probably have some pretty shitty drives and do a good job. 130 out of the rough. We're playing normal greens. There's a lot of facets to golf. You can't really say one thing or the other is the most important. Okay, this is a really crummy pin position. I'll see if I can get my act together with my irons, but it's just going to be touch and go here for a while. I'm feeling very rusty. That was a pretty small target to hit. I'd say we did an okay job considering, but that ball didn't go very far, and my ball speed's at 92 miles an hour, club speed's at 72. It's usually at about 85 to 90. So I know I'm feeling sluggish this morning. I can feel it, I can hear it in my voice. I'm just feeling sluggish as hell. Just try to play some golf here. All right, not bad. Yeah, it's just sometimes when I run out of events, I have a choice. I have to either fire up the Square launch monitor and play that software, which is whatever, or I choose something. And sometimes I have to choose the tips or the Pro Tour, and it's usually a mistake. But until I can get my ball speed up, which might not happen, I'm just going to keep hitting a fairway wood off the tee here, which we can reasonably expect to go about that far. What's even tougher is like the simulator is, it's a video game. You can turn it off if you get pissed off or shut it off or whatever, but outside when you've got an early tee time and you're not playing well, that really stinks. That must have been off the heel. We should be okay. We're playing 6,200 yard tees. But you can see we're going uphill, so we gotta adapt and overcome here. Aim for the middle of the green. Is this ball all chewed up? Yeah, this ball's pretty chewed up. Let's retire it to the bag and put it out on the golf course. This ball's moving up to the major leagues. What about this ball? It ain't too bad. There's some stuff on it I don't like, but it shouldn't be too bad. All right. That wasn't a bad shot. It was just it was thin. We'll see if we can get up and down for par or bogey. It's crazy how different your golf game is when you're nice and warm and loose versus maybe overdoing it. Pretty crazy. But I have a very specific goal in mind that I'm trying to achieve. And that goal is, on most shots, the ball goes generally where you aimed it, and it goes generally as far as it's supposed to go. I wouldn't say, I'm not saying I'm going to be a scratch golfer next season or anything. I just want the ball to generally go where it's supposed to. And sometimes that's easy, and sometimes it's really difficult. Like right now, I don't know what it is. Right now, I just feel really sluggish. Like this would normally be a shot I wouldn't even bat an eye at. But right now I know, like I just thinned an 8-iron, so I know that I'm not like on top of my game right now. And then I pushed that or pulled it into the bunker. Like that was a simple shot and I wasn't able to execute. Let's hope it gets better as the rounds progress, but boy, I feel sluggish. Let's see if we can get out of this bunker, which you should be able to in the simulator. Bunker shots are easy in the sim. You just swing like you normally would. Problem is when you go out on the real golf course and you try to use that swing out of a bunker, sometimes you get your ass handed to you. Moral of the story is make sure you're practicing your bunker shots and stuff on the real golf course and not just in here. Okay, that was a stupid bogey. That ball should have fallen. Yeah, we'll see. For golf's sake, says hit 200 to 235 and keep it in or near the fairway and I should be fine. Solid advice. It's just harder to execute. It's easy to talk about, difficult to execute. And no matter what I do and how many times I recalibrate my launch monitor, all of my fairway woods and my driver slice over to the right, and they don't do that in real life. So it's frustrating. It gets a little old. We're in rough. Let's make sure we get up, but also we don't want to go out. Everything just wants to go to the right. And I literally just calibrated this launch monitor with a laser. I would be surprised if we were off more than half a degree. But you can see the launch monitor always thinks you're coming over the top. Anyway, it's futile to talk about this, but yeah, I really don't try to ever swing out of my shoes unless it's off the tee and I'm feeling froggy. Okay, this is an actual no shit birdie look, which is just further proof if you play the correct tees and you're not hitting terrible shots, you might have scoring opportunities, right? For golf's sake says when he tries to hit as long as possible, his accuracy goes out the window. There's only really one club you need to hit as hard as possible, and that's your driver. After that, you just have a nice smooth swing and you let the loft of the iron do its job and get the ball where it's supposed to go. Driver is really the only club you can even justify hitting as hard as you can, quote unquote, right? And that's not just, you guys, I'm getting so tired of these greens. That's just not my logic. I've read that in golf books. Ben Hogan says it. Other golfers have said it. Driver's the only club you can justify just bashing down the fairway as hard as you can. Just let the club do the work for the rest of the bag. That was a piss poor excuse for a putt, but I'm exercising anger management right now. Might be on the fairway. Looks like it will be. The game feels so much different, even if you go to a tee box that's 500 yards closer. The game feels so much different. So I gotta hit this probably 200 yards, which is not a job for my 4-iron. Let's hit the 7-wood. You can see this is a well-protected green. Good chance of being in a bunker here. Or just nowhere near the green at all. Okay, that was a good shot. That was actually a really good shot. To hit a green with a 7-wood from 200 out, there's really not a lot to complain about there. Because now we might actually par out of here. For golf's sake says the problem with driver is unless you have a swing speed over 95 miles an hour, that your 3-wood will typically go further. And he is absolutely correct about that. He says the ego and peer pressure get in the way of smart golf. Another fair statement. But I would also say that it's being driven by the golf community proper. It's being driven by professional golfers, literally and figuratively. And driver, to be fair, driver is a club worth doing your best to master because it can get you out of a lot of trouble. Okay, we're playing 170 here. That's a much more manageable shot. Let's see if I can get something onto the green. But if you look, this green's very well protected by a couple of crab-shaped sand traps, if you will. Let's just have a nice, easy stroke and see if we can't get a ball over there. That's looking real good. Depends on how far it goes. That's a damn good shot right there. It's probably still going to make us putt. Guys, these are like cheap 1-length eBay irons. It's AGX Golf. Just goes to show it doesn't really matter what clubs you're using. We have another birdie look here, if you can believe it. Okay. This round feels vastly different than the round did last night. It's 6,700 yards. But I'm also not chasing my ball all over the golf course because I'm not hitting my driver. Nice little 3-wood, little fairway finder. .230, that's probably further than the driver would have gone. You can see that we need that same club again. And we should set ourselves up for a nice approach shot. We can't get there from here, no matter how hard I hit any club. Like I'll take that back. Maybe if I got a hold of, if I got my burner mini driver out and hit it off the deck and got a hold of it, I might be able to get up to the front of the green. But that's not a club that I'm going to reintroduce to the deck of cards right now. And as usual, ball is going right. If we can stay out of that crap and just be in regular rough, we should be okay. So that's 2 3-woods in a row. Both of them went a decent distance, and now we've got hopefully a chance to get near this pin and maybe get another birdie. DC Golf in the chat, I don't believe I've ever seen you in here. Welcome. DC Golf says he's been watching, he or she has been watching for a while, and you are getting better swing improvements. I appreciate the kind words, but I won't say that it's been without its trials and tribulations. I've probably hit upwards of 50,000 balls this year. Yeah, some of those videos in the beginning were painful, but I mean, I had just started golfing, so I kind of knew that's what was going to happen. For golf's sake, says he pulled out his 1980s 4-wood with a tiny metal head, and yeah, that would have been a tiny metal head, and it was going almost 200 yards. Goes to show even $20 golf clubs work. I agree. At any given day, depending on what set of clubs I'm playing, my bag's either worth about $2,000 or like $400. Depending on what I take out to the golf course that day. Wizard of Waz golf club is in the chat. He says good day. Gonna try and play round 1 today. What are you gonna play round 1 of? Because I'm playing, I think, Webb. The Tips Pro and SGT were all 6,700 yards, and I was kind of tired of getting my ass kicked. If I'm being honest. I just wasn't doing well enough off the tee to be playing that kind of yardage. Webb. Yeah, I'm having an okay go of it. There's a couple of red dots on the scorecard already. But for some reason at 6,700 yards, I'm looking at a bogey or double bogey every hole, and sometimes you just have to accept your station in life and be okay with that. Okay, I want to hit about 130 or 135 here, but I also don't want to be in the drink. So I'm going to take a 9-iron off the tee and see if I can't get somewhere near that pin. Maybe aim for the fatter part of the green so I'm not playing out of the bunker. All right, I felt the club turn in my hand. Let's see if we can stay out of the drink. I think we were able to. It's going to let us play as it lies. Yeah, I felt the club turn right here on my callus on the heel of my hand here. And that's why I'm a beginner golfer, because I don't have the consistency to hit a 140-yard green 8, 9, 10 times out of 10. I don't. But I will get there. I will get there. As it lies at a deep rough, I think we'll be fine. I don't want to take a penalty stroke. Wizard of Woz Golf Club says that he's going to play the tips outside the tour because he loves to see the entire course. Agreed, agreed. And DC Golf says, this is the account for my sim, about to finish construction and start a channel. What, if you don't mind talking about it, DC Golf, what launch monitor, what kind of stuff did you choose? Did you go with a budget build? Did you go with a over-the-top build? All right, par 3, bad shot off the tee, pretty good shot out of the mud, and we're probably looking at a bogey here. You're not going to sink a lot of 17-foot putts. That's just how it works. Don't get mad about it. Just accept it. That's a bit of a break over 17 feet. We're going uphill. We'll see if we can get it in the cup or at least near it. All right, didn't hit it hard enough. With a mistake off the tee on a par 3, you're almost guaranteed a bogey. You just got to be okay with that. Let's move over to the right side of the tee box. Luckily, my new button box lets me do that instead of having to go up to the keyboard. And then let's aim our ball. We know the 3-wood's going about 220-ish, which is making me think this is a really short hole here. .300-yard par 4. Kind of maybe not the best idea to try to go through the trees, but it's not making my spidey senses immediately tingle. And we didn't go over the tree anyway. Looks like we'll be playing out of the trees. Guys, sometimes this 3-wood is magical and sometimes it's dog shit just like the regular driver. That's golf. 117 yards out of the rough. Let's aim toward the fatter part of the green here. We ain't playing the best golf ever today. Wizard of Woz says, we mainly use the Unicore IXO. Mevo Plus Rapsodo is what I switch between. That Unicore IXO is a badass launch monitor. Mevo Plus is obviously a Doppler-based unit, and the Rapsodo, I think, is Doppler and a little bit of photometric. I can't remember, but I'd definitely be sticking to the Unicore IXO, obviously. I switch between my ProTee VX and my square launch monitor, but the square launch monitor was just really a random purchase because I wanted to see what it was all about. I use it sometime just for content, but it's not my daily driver. That ball was thin. Let's see if we can, nope, we're in Margaritaville. Consistency's not quite there today, but we're getting a lot of birdie looks and even sinking some of them, so I'm not too upset about it. Let's try to get out of this bunker. Looks like Flying Fat Kid's in the chat. Uh, 23 yarder. Should be able to get this out. For some reason that went so far. Let's look at the numbers because that felt weird. 27 carry, 38 carry. So I must it looks a little thin, but a green side bunker is supposed to be like 50%. I don't know, guys. GS Pro's glitchy at best. It'd be nice if it showed it'd be nice if there was a graphic that said like if your ball was sitting on the sand or if it was plugged, or instead of a stupid power meter, like can we get something that shows how deep your ball's buried in the sand, maybe like one day maybe in an alternate universe. DC Golf says ProTee VX, Media Room, Golf Sim Go Pro. I don't quite know what you're saying, if you want to elaborate. And for golf's sake says the reason most of us have a sim is to improve our real world golf. That's why he only plays 5,800 to 6,500 courses on GS Pro, because that's what he plays in the real world. I agree with you, but at the end of the day, even if you're playing the Tips Tour and getting your ass whooped, it's like no harm, no foul, because it doesn't matter. These cameras drive me nuts. They just drive me absolutely batshit nuts. I wish you could shut off the hand gestures once you had them set up the way you wanted to. This ball's just going to have to go a long way. Let's hit it and see where it lands. Okay, Sally hit the ball this time. Let's see if it was HLA. Yeah, it was HLA. We took another bogey. So I think we've got a couple of birdies and a couple of bogeys. Well, we've obviously got more than a couple of bogeys because we're 2 over. We'd be even if it was 2 and 2. No driver today. It's not working. It doesn't work in the sim. It works outside just fine. Like, it works so well it pisses my playing partners off, but it doesn't work in the simulator. If anybody knows how to fix that, shoot me a message. I will Venmo you hundreds of dollars. Okay, that is a very odd shot off the tee with the 3 wood. It actually went over to the left pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and not get pissed off about shots because I'm the one that hit them. Yeah, so Wizard of Woz says even a range of what the percentage of penalty would be. Kind of like a old Tiger Woods game on the PlayStation 2. It'll say your ball's going to go anywhere from like 59% to 79%. You can be like, okay, let me adjust what I can adjust to see how I can, manipulate that number. DC Golf says they converted their media room into a golf sim. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I tried to have my golf sim in the basement, but the ceilings were just slightly too low. Okay, we got to go 150 out of a bunker. I think GS Pro's got a lot of improvement to make, especially for how much they charge for it. Fat shot. And we're going to have another margarita. But I'm not going to get mad about it. Because I hit that ball, it's my fault. Let's see if we can get up here. Nope, nope, nope. That button always gets stuck. Okay, so that was a heavy penalty. I could feel that. You can see the carry in the game was 16 yards. The carry, raw carry in the software was 30. We lost 50% of our distance there. Unlike the last greenside bunker, which barely took any penalty at all. I will never stop bitching about this software. It's so buggy and so inconsistent. Or at least show me what my penalty's going to be. Show me what the ball, show me a graphic of how buried the ball is. That was a strange... HLA was fine. I didn't see it breaking that much, but you can see we're on the bogey train here. We got to get us a par. Let's check the scorecard. I think we've had quite a few bogeys here. Yeah, we've been on a bogey train here. We've got as many bogeys almost as we do pars and birdies, which is probably not kosher for a 6,200 yard course. But let's see if we can hit some better shots here. For golf's sake, says he has shoulder issues, which makes it impossible for him to hit long with any consistency. Yeah, I get that. And he's almost 50. His goal is to get single-digit handicap, 9 to 11. Anybody would be happy with a 9 to 11 handicap until I think you had been there for a couple of years, and then you'd probably be shooting for 5 or 6 or scratch. He says he'll do it only hitting 200 to 220 as long as mid and short game keep improving. And he says he's made massive improvements in mid and short game lately. Yeah, that's all good stuff. That's all good stuff. I like it when my friends improve at golf, just not when they're better than me. Ha ha ha. Okay, that ball's going right. This sim golf is so particular about your shots. It's pretty crazy. I think when it sees anything over the top, it goes into like some other mode, because irons are pretty good. Just woods and driver are not. Man, that should have gone a little further than that. So we just had a real piss poor shot with the 7 wood. It only went 180. Let's check out some numbers here. I don't know what lie I was in, but carry on the launch monitor was 185. So we lost 20 yards of carry for some reason. I must have been in the rough, which is another reason you should pay attention. Flying Fat Kid says, chip it tight. Yeah, if only I had any control over that. What's your advice? Play better golf. Yes, thank you. Or when you're having a bad day and somebody says, cheer up. And you're like, okay, now I'm suddenly cheery. I don't feel bad anymore. Don't be sad. Oh my goodness, that's all it took was for you to say, don't be sad? I'm not sad anymore. Oh, good God. Okay. Okay. Bogey train. Let's take a drink of water. Take a deep breath. We are on a bogey train, and the bogey train does not go anywhere good, guys. The bogey train doesn't go anywhere good. Let's have a little stretch. Let's take a deep breath. No more bogeys. We got a 400-yard par 5. So let's say I hit a 225-yard drive. I'm still going to have about a $180 into the pin, and that is not my comfort zone. So you got to make a choice here and try to get a few extra yards off the tee, or just accept the fact that you are going to have a bogey or double bogey on this hole. Right? Tell me if my math's wrong. I hit a 225-yard drive. I know that I am not accurate at 180 yards, and I'm probably going to be in the sand. Right? I'm looking at a bogey or a double bogey on a 400-yard par 4. I ain't complaining, I'm stating facts. Next stop, Verdieville. Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope this bulge and roll does something for me. Also didn't know you could adjust the loft on these fairway woods. Holy crap. It's just like adjusting a driver. Huh. Whew, I'm too poor to pay attention. So we know we're gonna go about maybe that far. And it could slice, it could hook. It's impossible to tell. Keep that front arm straight, keep that head down, quit being a douchebag. No douchebag shot that time. So we're a little closer than I anticipated. We got 163 to the pin, but I don't want to hit 163. I want to roll the ball up. I'm thinking triple bogey here. I'm thinking triple bogey, minimum, maybe quad. Okay, triple bogey. It's breaking mostly to the left, and we're going uphill. Let's get it tight to the pin. Probably playing high 50s here, mid 50s. And there we are with a double bogey. .480. Okay, let's break this one down real quick. 225-yard drive leaves me 250. This could be a scoring opportunity if I can get a couple of good shots. What are our major problems here? I don't think either of the laterals should be an issue. Let's assume we're going to hit about that far. Bunker could be an issue, which would screw the hole up pretty good. But maybe we'll fade over and be slightly off the left side, or excuse me, right side of the green here. All right, so Margaritaville, not quite, deep rough. I think I would have rather been in Margaritaville, but let's see what we can do here. Unfortunately, you can't hit anything worth a shit out of the deep rough. Let's get up as far as we can. 240 on the drive, but we're not in an ideal place. We got to have a club with a little bit of loft on it here. We're not going to go that far. I think the best we could really achieve is maybe that shot, and hopefully we're not right back in Margaritaville. Don't go in there. Okay. Not a good shot. It was toey, I feel like. But it went somewhere, and now we have a 120-yard approach, which is manageable. That's a manageable distance. Ball needs to go on the fat part of the green about right there. And then we're going to have a downhill putt if we're on. That ball's actually going toward the pin, but it's short, so we're not even on in 3. Let's see if we can get it tight with the 64-degree wedge and get out of here with a par. We had a scoring opportunity, it just didn't pan out. We're actually looking at a bogey now, if you can believe that, on a 480-yard par 5. Let's see if we can get the ball in the cup. For golf's sake, are you saying hit 7 wood off the tee now, or the 3 wood's doing all right? I don't know if I need to switch to the 7 wood, unless you're seeing something I'm not seeing. Okay, saved par. Should have been a birdie, but we saved par. 130-yarder. This is a gimme for some people. Crummy pin position though. Let's see what we can do here. You don't hit 7 wood from deep rough, do you? Like on the real course, do you hit 7 wood from deep rough? I can't imagine even being able to hit the ball. That felt pretty weak. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know what's going on. That's weird. Oh no, I hit the club that I would really hit out of that lie. I don't hit woods out of deep rough. Sorry, sir. That's cheating. Okay, if we can sink this, we'll be par. We might be able to get it. I think the sim's already pretty cheaty. I try to hit the club that I would hit in real life. Seven-footer. We're still at 4 over, even with 2 birdies. 410, 15. We got OB on the right, but it shouldn't be an issue, knock on wood. Flying Fat Kid says if he knew he could get the club on the ball, he would definitely swing the longest club he could. I was in a lie like that the other day at my local golf course, and there's no way I'd have hit a wood out of there. That is so crazy. All right, so we're going to be hitting out of the rough to an elevated green. We just probably bought ourselves a bogey. I'll see if I can get up there. That was a piss poor tee shot. Beginners do not have enough consistency, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Another slice and dice. If I can get tight to the pin, we might be able to get a par, but we're probably looking at a bogey here. 55 yards is not a good 64-degree shot. 60 something yards here. Let's check the numbers because that felt weak. 51 carry, 38 carry, and it says we only lost 7%. I cannot explain in words to you how much I hate GS Pro. And what's funny is every update is some bullshit like, we changed the splash screen so that it's Tobacco Road animated. And we made it so you can see the front, back, and middle distances on the green. Like, really? Why don't you fix the actual problems with the software, like the transitions from fringe to green, or the magic walls around sand traps? Like, thank you for giving the software the functionality it should have had to begin with the yardages, but can you fix the actual problems? Like my 2,200 yard drive I hit at Swiss Alpine the other day. Like, fix the real problems. Stop giving us these little bullshit incremental updates with functionality the software should have had right out of the gate. It's like, what are you, Call of Duty? 36. Okay, that was smoked. See, you guys don't play emotional golf. Here I'm talking shit on the GS Pro dev team and missing easy putts. Okay, there was the foretold bogey. We're now 5 over, which is disgusting. 425. 425. Wizard of Waz, or Waz, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, says still carry it and use it when the driver fails. I always have a driver, a 3, 5, and 7 wood in my bag, so no problems there. Sometimes I carry more clubs than 14. Okay, we're probably not going to hit that far now, are we? In fact, For Golf's Sake was the one that got me into the 7 wood. I found one at my local shop in the used club bin, and I'll honestly probably never go back. And then I was like, well, I got to have a 3 and a 5. And then the other day I was like, man, I should find a 9 wood. Oh, so much fun, guys. So much fun. Golf is just, it's a hoot. Okay, we've definitely got some danger here. Let's try an easy 7 wood, since I know the 4 iron is not quite firing on all cylinders. Let's try an easy little 7 wood. Easy my ass. No, not Margaritaville again. Damn, that was almost a good shot. Dude, I've had so many margaritas this round already. I'm probably gonna need some hangover juice. 17. See, the GS Pro said that ball was going to eject left out of that sand trap, and you can see it ejected just about as left as I am a drag queen. Let's see here. I really do think this software is shovelware, but it's the best we've got. Come on, man. It's too early to be this pissed off. Now we're up to 6 over. Guys, we have 2 birdies and we're 6 over par. Let's look at this scorecard. Bunch of blue boxes. Look at this. Look at this. 2 birdies and we're 6 over. Just absolute dog shit golf. 165, wind's not really a factor. It's playing, let's pretend it's going to play 170. It's a sucker pin. We're not seeing any double posts on, I'm not seeing any double posts on my end. So you're okay. And YouTube pays me by the post, so don't worry about it. All right, a pulley little shot. And we're having another margarita. Guys, I think our blood alcohol content's getting pretty high at this point. Little over the top shot. We're almost done. Hopefully the next round can be better. This ball's supposedly going to eject right, so we'll aim over to the left. I'm not in my YouTube chat feed, so maybe it's double post in there, but I'm not seeing anything on my end. Okay, guys, 350-yard par 4. This is a scoring opportunity if I can get a couple of good shots. The problem is you don't know if you're going to have a couple of good shots as a beginner golfer. It's a mystery. Okay, we will not be scoring on this hole, but we can maybe recover for a bogey or a par. I honestly don't know how I'm coming so over the top. Let's look at the replay. Yeah, I don't feel that was slightly over the top, maybe on a good day. I was in this same exact position in the last round. And I know there's a magic barrier around the sand trap right here. So we got to hit a lofty club, but I can't hit a lofty enough club to get 160. In the chat for golf's sakes, basically saying to quit being so hard on myself. No, I don't get anywhere if I'm patting myself on the back all the time. I need to be hard on myself because I got to catch up for like 2 decades of golf that everybody else has on me, and I got to do it quick. I don't think I got this shot in my bag. I think we're going to end up in a sand trap again, so let's lay up. There's a problem with colliders on the edge of this bunker. If you go back and look at my other stream from last night, you'll see that I hit like a magic wall here. I'm hoping to not hit again. But right now we're just trying to get out of here. and then we'll see if we can get tight to the pin at 70, 80 yards, which we probably won't. E1 left. Okay, this hole is going to take us pretty hard because we're having another drink. What happened there? It was thick. Okay, we're keeping it under control. We're not getting pissed off. It's 8:30. Ball's going to come out a little left. Let's aim a little right and get this out of here. That was a pretty tight shot. It's going to make us putt though. In addition to for golf's sake comment, I don't get, on the real golf course, the only thing that beats you is you. In GS Pro, sometimes you're fighting the software and golf, which is, honestly, it's inhumane. Oh my goodness. So we had a break. My HLA was 0-0. I don't know what to say there, guys, because there's still breaking here. And that one went in for a pathetic double bogey at the end. There's round one. Not very happy with that scorecard. Pause it if you need to. Let's look at stats. Stats are okay. 5 greens, 6 fairways. Let's see if we can do better in round 2. And then by then it should be about time for me to get ready for the event that I have today. What are we playing? Web? Because SGT and Pro are too hard. Okay, I don't usually play hard greens, but I will because I want to finish this out. Firm fairways, the wind is now blowing. We're still at 6,200 yard tees, but we're really going to have to mind our P's and Q's on the greens. Yeah, GS Pro's got a lot of good attributes, but if you look at them, most of the attributes that are good about GS Pro is stuff that you should already, good software already has. Like if you're going to create a golf simulation, give us bunkers that don't have magic walls around them and stuff. Like show us some visual representation of how buried we are in the sand, because on a real shot on a real golf course, if you couldn't see your lie in the sand, you'd be like, what the hell? Right? Like it doesn't make any sense how they haven't engineered that out of the game yet. All right, 160 out on a par 4. I'm sort of comfortable at that distance, but I wouldn't say don't expect any fireworks. Like if you look at other software you would pay $250 a year for, you're talking about like Adobe Photoshop, some other Adobe products, maybe editing software, and you're talking about software that has been whittled and perfected, and when it does its job plus some. GS Pro is $250 a year, and it's barely getting the job done. All right, folks, we must remember we're on firm greens. That's going to change the dynamic of the entire golf course. Let's see if we can get out of here with a par. Yeah, for golf's sake says he stopped playing for 17 years. Why did you stop playing for 17 years? Like you didn't swing a golf club at all, or how did it work? Thanks, Obama. .350. We've seen all these holes before. We know basically what we need to do. Let's just try to engineer out some of the bad shots. That's a little further right than I wanted, but we should be just fine. Let's knock this round out. It's Groundhog Day, except for the greens are firm. Oh crap, we got a nasty headwind. It's Groundhog Day, except for the greens are firm and the wind's blowing pretty hard. Are we gonna have even more margaritas? Oh, good Lord. Nice toey little shot. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit. We've seen all of this before. Just see how that bounced? Firm greens. For golf's sake says he started at age 27, played 15 to 20 rounds a year, never took it seriously, used to shoot between 125 and 135. Yeah, welcome to the club. But what was the 17-year gap? All right, we took our first birdie on the bogey on the second hole, so we got to just for golf's sake said the mate he played with stopped, so did he, and then drug addiction took his money. Just kidding. Car addiction. 140. It's crazy that ball went, but it was the wrong direction. If it had gone straight, it had been in the bunker. It's like you can't win. You can't win no matter what you do. Let's see. Ooh, these greens are tough, boy. This is a par 3. We've got to stay off the bogey train here. I need to make this putt, but The firmer the greens are, the more strangely they act. All right, all aboard the bogey train. We've got to get some good shots here. I don't remember how I played this hole last time. We sure are hanging out in a lot of sand traps, though. That's not helping our cause. But I'm the one that hit the shot, so I can't very well bitch about being in a sand trap now, can I? I still will. Yeah. For golf's sake says when he was 45, he took the sport up again with the same clubs he had from 17 years earlier and was hooked. That's sort of what happened to me, just different, slightly different time shift. If I get a hold of this ball, I could get it up next to the green. I feel like I played pretty conservative golf on the last round. All right, that ain't gonna work. Holy crap, we spend a lot of time in the sand. You guys, that ball just rolled through thick grass and into a bunker. Insert joke about what dog shit this software is right here. 55. Let's at least make sure we're on the green. 60 out. The problem is we don't know what kind of penalty we're going to take. Let's check out the numbers. That's a 65 carry, 83 carry, which means I'd have been in trouble no matter what out of that lie. What do we got here? We're having a bit of a rough hole here, gents. Let's do what we can to slow the bleeding. Maybe that'll be in the circle. I have them hidden. Okay, bogey. We're still on the bogey train. Let's try to break this up with a par or two. 396. This is a scoring hole. Let's see what the handicap on it is. 4 handicap. Maybe not a scoring hole. Let's just do the best we can. For golf's sake, says he still loves his cars, had 9 old school BMWs at one point with only one left, and it says daily. I also daily a BMW. 1995 318i E36. And the son of a bitch leaks oil like it's going out of style. I got some parts over here from Bimmer World. I'm going to try to stop the oil leak, but that'll be highly dependent on many factors. 170, it's got to go 180 into the wind, out of the rough. So I'm thinking we need a pretty good little whack on this ball here. For golf's sake said he had an E36, but it was a 320i. Did it leak oil everywhere by any chance? Do you got any tips for me? I'm thinking it's the oil filter housing gasket or O-ring in there down on the side by the alternator bracket, but I haven't gotten in there yet. It leaks oil like a son of a bitch though. It's not obvious where it's coming from though, that's the shitty part. Okay, this has more right to left brake than anything else. I stand corrected. Okay, we broke up the bogey train. Gorgeous car, white, 4-door. I love it. I think it looks sick. One of my engineer buddies sold it to me for 200 bucks. Okay, that shot had no rhyme nor reason why it went to the left. It wasn't towy. Apparently it was over the top. Let's look at the replay. Perhaps a little over the top. Yeah, everything I read says BMWs leak oil like it's going out of style. So I can't hit much out of here. I'll try a 7-iron, but I don't want to go any less lofted than that. And we're just going to attack the pin from here on out. We got to move this along. This broadcast is already getting a bit long in the tooth. I think we're going to be playing out of the same. No, we got into the normal rough. That was towy. Got to keep your head down on the ball. Oh, he's got a 1986 E28. That's a good looking car. That is a damn good looking car. So you guys can see it's taken us 2 shots to get 282 yards. 2 shots to get 282 yards. I'm not going to repeat that for effect, but that's pretty pathetic. What the hell? Let's try that again. 37 yards, tough greens. Let's aim up here. Take a look at some numbers there because that felt funny. Nope, numbers match up. He says his wife drives a 2012 X5 diesel and it's not leaking oil yet. The oil leak on my BMW is pretty egregious. I'm thinking if I just spent an hour or two observing, I could probably find where it was coming from. But in my mind, that's an hour or two that I could spend golfing, so it's kind of hard. All right, that ball stopped. Oh no, a double. I'm losing interest in this round very quickly. 2008 Toyota Corolla, when you own BMWs, you need a Toyota. I agree. I own a BMW and a 1992 Eagle Talon. And I recently just got it to where that 4G63 engine was not leaking oil. And then I found a big crack in the transmission where it had hit the ground and like cracked the case. So I pulled it out and JB welded it, and that got rid of that leak. But I was like, why did this transmission, because I'm obviously not the first owner, I was like, when did this transmission hit the ground that hard? Like when they got the transmission to come loose from the side of the engine block, it like dropped and broke it or something. Oh, good Lord. Okay, let's get out of here. We're only on the 7th hole. I'm pretty bored. Let's just, let's get something out of here. Well, that gasket is, all you got to do is pull the alternator off. All right, guys, let this be a lesson to you. Pay attention to the lie out of the bunker. It must have been on a right-facing lie. Let's play it as it lies. Let's just start hitting this ball as hard as we can over and over and over until we get out of here. I am bored. Okay, we're not getting any breaks here. 73 yards. What's our 73-yard club? It's this one. Oh, I gave up on fast cars a long time ago. That shit was getting me in trouble. I'm thinking that's going to be Margaritaville. Guys, I don't know, sometimes I can be in the sim and have fun for hours. Right here, I'm bored though. Like I don't want to play anymore. Another bogey. We're 6 over after 7 holes. Dog shit round. We need to go about 130 here. So I'm going to go long because everything's been hitting short. And let's maybe go a little to the right here. Okay, there's our tee shot. It should be fairway or slightly near it, fairway adjacent. Let's play some speed golf here. 20. We're going to do the walk of shame. 11. It's going to make us putt. I already have this club in my hand, so let's putt with the 64. It's going to break hard though. Let's go up there. Sorry guys, I'm bored. I don't want to be in here anymore. Okay, there's a 6. 315. Let's stop hitting 3-wood and go with driver. Maybe that'll spice things up. Can we go over these trees? Maybe. Maybe. Call me maybe. That's a little risky. Let's not get that risky. Okay, that is not gonna work. I don't know how that ball went so left. Holy shit, it is gonna work. Okay, guys are talking cars in the chat. 40 yards. I'm guessing a fight's gonna break out soon. European versus American domestic, because now we're talking about Mustangs. Guys, keep it civil if you could, please. I don't like par threes, though. All right, GSPro has done us dirty as right there. That ball rolled over the hole. 350. Let's see if we can get driver to fire. I think most of the problem on my par threes is the tee shot. We got wind in our face. Another lefty. That's crazy. All right, what are we hitting out of here? It is deep rough, 104. Let's hit a 120 club. Downhill, leaking left. Let's do that. 19 feet here, 19 feet. So much for leaking left, huh? .418. Okay, where are we hitting? We got a tailwind, that's pretty sweet. We know our miss is mostly in both directions. That should get us on or near a fairway, unless we hit a magical collider. GSPro and the magical colliders. .145, that was a 275-yard drive. 145 club. Let's go with an 8-iron. We got a tailwind. Uh, 21 feet, uphill. Let's just hit it straight. It's gonna play about 30 feet, 31 feet. Sally didn't hit the ball because Sally didn't want to roll off the back of the green. All right, Wizard, have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. We're trying to wrap this round up ASAP. I'm bored. I don't have enough patience for this game. Par. We're rolling, we're 9 over. We're playing trash, garbage, dog shit golf. We're rolling. We'll probably hit about right there if I could guess. We're rolling. What are we hitting out of? Deep rough, 144. We know we need to hit probably close to 170, 180. We got some wind. Let's hit a ball. We've hit a ball. We're in Margaritaville. "31 yards out of a bunker, greenside bunker." It's hard to say what's going to happen here. Ball's going to want to go right. Okay, let's look at the numbers, because I hate SGPRO. Yep. 12 carry, so we lost 50% out of that particular bunker. It'll be different next time. 40, 60, 60-ish feet. Bogey. We're 10 over. We're playing dog shit golf. 488, par 5. Let's see if we can put a dent in this hole here. We're playing golf, quote unquote. Maybe hit right there. 10 miles an hour, a tailwind. Sky ball, let's hope the wind helps us out. What do we got here? 270 to the pin, we hit 213. We're aimed at the pin, I suspect. We are not. See you later for golf's sake. Thanks for tuning in, good sir. I'm going to finish this round up. Not a bad 3-wood there. Let's get this up. 49 yards. We probably don't want to go quite 49. Let's see if we can get a 2-putt par here. $27 feet of feel. Oh boy, 10 over. That sucks, dude. This is going to be a tricky shot because the green, we got a tailwind and the greens are firm. We'll do the best we can. We're playing some speed golf here. Roll up there. No. We on? Oh, that's brutal, dude. That's just brutal. Let's putt, though. I don't want to risk thinning a shot. Ball's going to roll hard to the left. We're in semi-rough, so I don't know how hard to hit the ball. We're golfing. We're playing some golf adjacent game here. Driver territory. This is driver territory. We don't want to slice over into that OB. Let's give ourselves a chance here. Might be on the left side of the fairway, who the hell knows. Probably going to be on the left side of the fairway, but that's okay. Decent shot. You'd be okay with that in real life, I think. 178, playing well over 190. Let's hit a 7-wood. She's drifting, she's drifting. Let's see if we can get a 2-putt par here. A 2-putt par. What are we thinking on the break here? Because we're going 48 feet. That's fine with me. 48 feet playing well over 60 feet. Par. This is quickly becoming a tale of two nines, if you've ever heard the expression. It's when your first 9 is really good or really bad, and then the next 9 is different, drastically different. Okay, that's a sky ball. I think we might be playing from those tents over there, or whatever they are. 246. Something I don't normally do, but for speed of play, I'm going to hit a wood out of the deep rough. You could only do that really in GS Pro. We will get there one very painful shot at a time. We got 100 yards in, but we need to hit about 125 out of this lie because of GS Pro's gonculations. We got a tailwind too helping us out. Let's see what we can do. Nice shot, would have been pin high on most greens, but GS Pro ain't most greens. We're breaking, we got a quad breaker here. I'd say it's mostly breaking to the right, and it's downhill. So this is for par, but we're probably looking at a bogey because of the two prior shots. That was downhill, huh? All right, we got to sink this, so we're looking at another double. Let's just put it right outside the cup. Little 10-foot feel here. Nope, she broke right before the cup. That's pretty brutal. HLA was perfect. I didn't see that. I didn't see that break. 171, this is a tough hole. 170, what's our 170 club today? We'll try to get her up there, but you can see this is a very well protected green. Are we gonna be in Margaritaville? Yes, sir. You guys, it's a lot easier to get into a bunker on that green, or on this hole, than it is to get on the green. There's actually more square footage of bunker than there is green. We were having a pretty good back nine, but then that double came out of nowhere and kicked us in the nuts. This is the 15th handicap hole, 18th hole overall. Let's get down and see if we can score possibly. And then we will end the broadcast. I got to get ready for something else I'm doing today. That's just crazy. Get over there. What do we do there? Over the top. Good drive though. We got to play 100 yards, maybe 110. Let's hit a pitching wedge because we're going uphill and into the out of a rough. You can see these firm greens are very bouncy. They're like trampolines. Let's see if we can putt out for a birdie here maybe. These greens are pretty tough to read. Okay, I didn't see that break personally. Let's check out, I can't see my HLA. Oh, that sucks, I can't see my HLA. There's your stats. It was definitely a tail of 2 nines. Pretty good round though, 82, 83 on a 71. There are your stats. 10 pars, 2 double bogeys. That's not bad golf. We had a pretty rough hole. One of those holes was pretty rough, I guess. What was it? We took a 6 on a 3, a 6 on a 4, and a 6 on a 3. That's that double plus. That sucks. So the first 9 reamed our asses out pretty good, and then the back 9, just a side of 16, was not really bad at all. Good golf. If you shoot a 38 on 9 holes, you're playing damn good golf. Give yourself some credit. And 45 on 9 holes is what I play outside in real life. I'm about a 21 handicap. So this first 9 was looked like my outside rounds do, and this back 9 looked, I've never shot in the 30s on the back 9 outside. But there you have it, guys. Let's back out to the GS Pro splash screen. I don't think we have anybody in the chat. We probably have some lurkers. This ball's ready to be retired. It's getting a little too beat up to use here in the simulator. And we will end the broadcast here. Any last parting words? No? All right, guys, I always appreciate you watching. From one day to the next, you might see anything in here in the simulator. I started getting a little bit irritated on the second round. I don't know what it was. I'm a hormonal 44-year-old man. I don't know what it is. But hopefully you enjoyed most of the broadcast. A couple of decent rounds. Way better than most of my league rounds. So I should be happy, but I am always pushing harder and harder and harder to get better and better. And I don't like being double digits over par in the simulator. It just doesn't feel like it should be that difficult. But anyway, we'll see you in the next video. That might be this afternoon. It might be tomorrow afternoon. But you will see me. Okay, guys? We will talk to you later.